Good day and welcome. You're watching Maarten NEWSDESK, where we bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond. With your anchor crew, Alston Lawrence, Glenda York, Tiziana Hart, and Mizzy with the Sunshine Report. This broadcast is brought to you by TV15 and proudly produced by Great Bay Media Studios in Philipsburg, St. Maarten. And now, let's jump straight into today's top headlines.
Arrested, weapons seized in robbery investigation. 2 young men have been arrested in connection with the ongoing armed robbery investigation following an early morning police operation in Simpson Bay. The police force of St. Maarten says detectives and patrol officers arrested the suspects, aged 20 and 21, at a hotel near the entrance to Pelican on Thursday, May 28. The arrests are linked to an armed robbery that took place on May 19th in the Simpson Bay area, where victims were reportedly robbed at gunpoint and relieved of personal belongings. Police say a detective involved in the case spotted one of the wanted suspects near the hotel and alerted fellow officers. Investigators later confirmed the suspect was staying there. Investigators later confirmed the suspect was staying there and obtained permission to enter the room. During the operation, a second suspect attempted to flee through a patio area, but was quickly apprehended. Inside the room, officers discovered ammunition for a military-style firearm, a handgun, and later recovered a military-style weapon during a wider search of the property. Both suspects remain in custody while forensic investigations continue. KPSM is urging anyone with information about illegal firearms or serious criminal activity to contact the police or the anonymous tip line at 9300. The court sentences former officer and 3 men. The Court of First Instance has ruled in 2 major criminal cases in St. Maarten. Former immigration officer WCC has been convicted for violating official secrecy in connection with a human smuggling investigation. The court sentenced the former officer to 180 hours of community service with a 3-month conditional prison sentence suspended for 3 years. The court also imposed a 5-year ban preventing the defendant from working as a civil servant. The prosecutor's office says violations of official secrecy by public officials undermine trust in public institutions and can compromise criminal investigations and border security. In a separate case, 3 men have each been sentenced to 7 years in prison in connection with the March 2025 Defiance Quarter shooting. The court convicted the suspects in relation to attempted manslaughter and firearm possession. It also rejected claims of self-defense. One suspect was ordered to pay 7,500 Caribbean guilders in compensation to the victim. The prosecutor's office says the shooting was a serious act of firearm violence in a public area and posed a major danger to public safety. Mr. Brug urges labor abuse reporting. VSA Minister the Honorable Richinel Brug is urging both employers and employees to respect St. Maarten's labor laws, following increased public discussion about alleged labor abuse and unfair treatment of workers. The minister says social media has become an important place for people to share concerns, but formal complaints must still be reported through the proper channels for action to be taken. Minister Brug says employees who face unfair dismissal, unsafe working conditions, unpaid wages, intimidation, or other labor-related violations should officially report the matter to the Ministry of VSA. Complaints can be made through the Department of Labor, the Division of Social Services and Labor Affairs at the government building, or the Labour Inspectorate at Vineyard Office Park on WG Von Camper Road. The minister also reminded employers and employees that both sides have rights and responsibilities. He says working relationships must be based on mutual respect, fairness, professionalism, and compliance with the laws of St. Maarten. The ministry says it remains committed to protecting workers' rights, promoting fair labor practices, and ensuring healthy and lawful working conditions.
Hello, my people. My name is Glenda York of Sit, Sip and Chat and Moms in Paradise podcast. You can find us on TV15 St. Maarten, TVC St. Kitts, and on YouTube. Reporting from Great Bay Media Studios in St. Maarten, your news desk feature story is coming up. But first, here is Mizzy with the Sunshine Report.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with the Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, St. Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into the forecast and see how the skies are treating us.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every life, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them it's there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road.
Stay connected to the best of local and Caribbean content anywhere, anytime with the TVC Plus app, the official app of TVC Channel 40. With the TVC Plus app, you can watch TVC Channel 40 live, catch every episode of your favorite shows on demand, watch exclusive pay-per-view content, listen to Voice of the Caribbean radio, and watch and read SKN Newsline. The TVC Plus app is available on all your devices. On the Google Play Store, search TVC and the plus sign. In the Apple App Store, type the words TVC Plus. And we're also available on the Amazon App Store for Fire TV and Fire Stick devices. Search the words TVC Plus. Download today and take TVC Channel 40 wherever you go.
All right, don't miss News Desk. Weekdays at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. on TVC. St. Kitts to the world, now streaming everywhere. Finance Ministry releases first quarter reform update. The Ministry of Finance has released its first quarter 2026 Finance Forward update, outlining what Minister the Honorable Marinka Gums describes as a phased approach to stabilize, repair, reform. The report highlights several first quarter initiatives aimed at strengthening St. Martin's financial systems, improving compliance, and modernizing tax administration. Among the key updates is the Basic Payment Account legislation, which was approved by Parliament in January and published in April. The measure is intended to improve financial inclusion by helping more people access basic banking services. The ministry also points to the launch of the Transformation Tax Administration Program on February 11th, aimed at making the tax system more efficient, transparent, digital, and user-friendly. Other measures include a compliance audit involving the Tax Office, SOAB, and SZV, the temporary extension of income tax payment arrangements from 9 to 24 months, and the publication of the 2026 income and wage tax tables. The update also covers work on the 2026 budget, early planning for the 2027 budget, discussions on the future of the monetary union with Curaçao, and the Minister's Monthly Finance Friday walk-in sessions. Minister Gums says the goal is to build a more resilient, fair, and efficient financial system for St. Martin. Jamaica to host Caribbean Agriculture Week. Jamaica will host the 20th Caribbean Week of Agriculture from September 27th to October 2nd in Kingston. This year's theme is the new face of Caribbean food systems, with a focus on innovation, food security, climate-smart technologies, export growth, and agribusiness. The event is one of the region's leading agriculture forums, bringing together farmers, entrepreneurs, policymakers, youth, rural women, regional leaders, and private sector decision makers. Organizers include CARICOM, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, CARDI, and the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization. Jamaica's Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says protecting food security means protecting Caribbean people, especially as the region faces natural disasters, rising import costs, and global uncertainty. Rotary honors youth excellence. The Rotary Club of St. Martin Sunset has recognized two outstanding organizations for their impact on youth development during its Youth Service Month celebration held on May 25th. More than 100 attendees gathered for the event, which highlighted youth leadership, community service, and the achievements of young people across St. Martin. Student leaders from several Interact clubs helped lead the evening and shared the successes of their service projects throughout the year. The Rotary Club presented its Youth Service Excellence Awards to Indiso Dance, Theatre, and Dynamic Sporting Club for their dedication to empowering and mentoring young people. Both organizations received recognition and financial support to continue their work. Dynamic Sporting Club was honored for nearly 2 decades of developing young athletes, while Indiso Dance Theatre was recognized for 16 years of inspiring youth through dance, creativity, and cultural expression. The event also featured a Vocational Service Award for community leader Michael Granger and concluded with a special performance by Indiso Dance Theatre celebrating hope, resilience, and the power of youth.
Hey there, I'm Venicia Herbert, and welcome to the Community Billboard. This is your space, where the people, places, and heartbeat of the St. Martin community get to speak for themselves. Whether it's an event worth showing up for, a business worth knowing about, or a cause worth caring about, you'll hear it right here. So, settle in, because what's coming up next just might be exactly what you've been looking for. Welcome to the NEWSDESK Community Billboard. To be part of our mailing list, send an email to newsdesksxm@gmail.com.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every love, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them it's there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road.
Before we wrap up, we take a moment each day to check in with our neighbors across the region. There's always a story worth paying attention to. Here's today's regional headline.
Freegan Foundation recognized as BES population grows. Freegan has once again emerged as the highest ranking organization from the Caribbean part of the kingdom in the Appletrust Van Oranje public voting round. The St. Maarten organization plays 16 nationally for the 2026 awards, which are presented by the Oranje Funds to organizations making an exceptional contribution to society. Freegan has now been invited to Curaçao in June to pitch its work to the Oranje Funds jury. The organization continues to focus on food security, reducing waste, and supporting families through its client choice food market, coaching, education, and community programs. Meanwhile, new figures from Statistics Netherlands show continued population growth in the Caribbean Netherlands. As of January 1st, 2026, the population of Bonaire, Saba, and Sint Eustatius stood at more than 33,000 people, an increase of 1,249 residents, or 4% over the previous year. Bonaire saw the largest increase, growing by more than 1,000 people to 27,611 residents. Saba's population rose by 112 people to 2,270, while Statia increased by 78 residents to 3,348. CBS says the growth across all three islands was mainly driven by migration.
Welcome back. Each day we take a moment to go beyond the headlines and look deeper into the issues, people, and conversations shaping life here on St. Maarten. Welcome to today's NEWSDESK feature.
Some St. Martiners build their future loudly. Others build it with quiet discipline, long nights, and a steady commitment to work that can one day serve their island. Khalisha Halley belongs to that second group. Raised in St. Maarten, Khalisha developed an early interest in healthcare, especially women's health. pregnancy, and maternal care. That interest followed her to Florida A&M University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in pre-med biology, then continued into public health after hands-on experience working in a clinic and seeing how health issues affect entire communities, not just individual patients. Today, she is pursuing a Doctor of Public Health in Epidemiology and Biostatistics at FAMU, focusing on the kind of research that helps governments and health systems understand what is really happening in a population. Recently, Khalisha represented that work at the 70th Annual CARFA Health Research Conference in Georgetown, Guyana, one of the Caribbean's major public health gatherings. The conference brought together researchers, ministers of health, regional officials, and international partners from across the hemisphere. And there, among senior public health voices, this young St. Maarten presented research based on her master's thesis. Her study examined substance use during pregnancy, including marijuana use, and its possible association with low birth weight. It is sensitive work, but Khalisha approaches it without judgment. For her, public health is not about blaming people. It is about asking the right questions, collecting the right data, and understanding the conditions that shape people's choices. She points to poverty, stress, childhood trauma, limited access to health care, and social pressure as part of the bigger picture. In her view, a strong public health response should focus on support, routine screening, mental health resources, community outreach, and better local data systems, especially for islands like St. Maarten that need their own evidence to guide their own policies. That is what makes her story important. Khalisha is not only studying public health, she's thinking about how public health can work for small island communities. At the CARFA conference, she also connected with researchers from the Bahamas, Barbados, and Washington, D.C., including professionals who work closely with ministries of health on research initiatives. She says she hopes one day to contribute to evidence-based public health work in St. Maarten. And that is the real promise of this featured St. Maarten. Khalisha Halley represents a generation of young professionals who are building knowledge abroad while still carrying home in their purpose. Her journey reminds us that national development is not only built by those already in office or on island. Sometimes it is being shaped in classrooms, research labs, clinics, and conference halls far away by St. Maarteners, preparing themselves to return with answers, or maybe even more importantly, with the right questions.
That's all the time we have for today's edition of St. Maarten News Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday at 8 a.m. on TV 15 and across all our social media platforms. From all of us here at News Desk, we wish you a fantastic week ahead. Until next time, stay friendly, St. Maarten.